So you made it all of 30 yards. But you want to get out there, you got to make it through more than half a mile of this just to get in position at Mavericks. So you got to conserve all the energy you got. All right. Now let's take a look at what you missed.
Fellas, you brought the life of legendary big wave surfer Jay Moriarty to the big screen, and it's very inspiring. Yeah. What was it about Jay and his mentor Frosty's story that remains such an inspiration in his community and the surfing world?
I think if you talk to Frosty, the real Frosty, him and Jay were like completely father and son. Where, you know, by the time that later in life, as their relationship developed more and more, I mean, he was completely his father at that point. And I think Jay was a brave young kid to say, "I need you as a mentor. I need you as a father figure." And it was bred out of necessity for him, but also a very confident air about him.
Yeah. And I think there was something about, you know, this story's being told for a reason. I mean, somebody like this comes along, it is once in a blue moon, you know, where everything about their character is so inspirational and yet humble, and yet they're tenacious. They have all the things that are required to be that one in a million, you know, that person who just achieved something special. And he did. You know, he surfed that wave at 15 years old. He also died at 22 years old. You know, everything about him was almost formed by destiny, and I think that at the same time there was something very vulnerable about him and his relationship with Frosty, that you realize how much effort has to go into achieving that, and the special bond that they developed, and just what he did with his community. Like, everybody in that community felt they knew Jay.
I think it was really cool that a lot of the surf action was filmed in and around Mavericks, Jay's home surf. Now, I grew up in Northern California. Okay. That water isn't just rough. It's really cold.
Freezing cold at 48 degrees, man.
And I was going to say, how much of that surf action was you, and how much of it was you going, you know what, I'm actually good in the trailer, but I think the stunt doubles are available?
You know, we were out on the boat. There was no trailers either way. Like, whenever it was surf time in Mavericks, it's a half mile out, so we're on the boat. So we can either be seasick on the boat in 50-foot swells, or we can be out in the water and be freezing and nausea and whatever. So either way, I mean, that was basically the toughest environment you could possibly be in.
And Gerard, you took a beating in 300, but word is you took a beating in this one that actually landed you in the hospital. Is that right?
Yeah, I spent the night in the hospital. You know, I just got taken down by a huge, what do you call it, a swing set?
A swing set, yeah. It's like there's a regular sets, and then a swing set will come maybe every 3 hours. And it's a bigger wave outside.
They'd said they hadn't seen waves like that in a couple of weeks. I mean, it was a massive set, and I was right in the worst place. And by the time the wave got to me, I'd been paddling. We saw it come from half a mile away.
We got the biggest swell that Mavericks has seen in a couple of years. I mean, this year when we were filming, Jay, you know, gave us some waves out there. And you caught one on the head. I mean, what was Jay saying, huh?
Just check this out. You better earn the right to be in my movie.
Yeah. What was your surf background before this? Before they threw you into harm's way?
About 5 minutes in Southern California. I literally had surfed in my life 3 or 4 times for an hour here and there.
And you play a phenom, so I'm sure you
I play what?
A surfing phenom, so I'm sure you had to really bring it.
I've been surfing for 10 years or so, and I didn't have the technical know-how, I think. And so, like, some of the guys pulled me aside, the big pros, and were like, you know, try this, and that, and then put me in 20-foot waves, like, right off the bat. So I think that they just threw me in, which was fantastic because I was always kind of pushing. I'm an adrenaline junkie a bit, I think, the same as you. So it's either motorcycles or really big waves, you know.